Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of JoJo no Kimyou no Bouken Ougon no Kaze, or you can call it JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5 Golden Wind, which is on episode 33. This episode looks really simple the way how I looked at it and tried to skim through it again after watching it, so if anything else, let's just get this started. We have to it that Doppio was about to kill Bruno Bucciarati, but after thinking about it for a while, he decides to figure out what Bruno is after. And we see to it that he tricks Bruno to wanting to give him a hand or helping him out, and he almost got himself caught by Mr. Giorno and Trish. But what makes it worse is that Bruno's vision becomes very blurry, not to mention his hearing becomes worse, along with unable to move his muscles or unable to walk properly. We see to it that eventually that Bruno thinks that Doppio, which he never found out who he is actually Trish, which makes it worse knowing that his sight is getting worse and hallucinations are kicking in pretty badly because the boss, which his real name is revealed, which I'll save that for later, has the same kind of aura such as Trish. And of course we see to it that Doppio brings Bruno Bucciarati to a location where Polnareff interrogates both of them at the same time. Bruno tries to tell Polnareff that this person is Trish whatsoever. Unfortunately for Bruno, that's not Trish. And eventually Doppio takes advantage of looking through Bucciarati's eyes reflection, and he realizes that Polnareff has an arrow. And we see to it that Doppio ends up meeting Polnareff after using his stand ability, and we get to see that the boss's true name is Diavolo, which apparently sounds really similar to Diablo, just like without the B, it's a vlo. Diavolo, I think. Yeah, Diavolo. And we see to it that we get a backstory of what happened to Polnareff and why he is in that wheelchair and why he has so many prosthetics and why he's all f***ed up or something, you know? And we get to know that Polnareff and Jotaro were on a mission to go after these arrows because they were dug up by the boss who made Passione, ironically. Because of that, Polnareff actually located one of the arrows or one of the guys who had the arrow, but ends up trying to fight that main person who created the Passione gang. But unfortunately for Polnareff himself, he was no match against him due to the fact that he was able to skip time or move past Polnareff really fast due to his ability of invincible, and ends up turning Polnareff into pieces to the point where he ends up having prosthetic legs and the arm and whatsoever. But fortunately for him, Polnareff would be able to get his hands on a broken golden arrow that Jotaro and Polnareff are familiar with, and of course Dio was familiar with. What makes it worse for now is that even when Polnareff tries to fight Diavolo, which is the boss of Passione, he was unable to kill him. He was able to actually injure him, but unable to escape either. So we see to it that Diavolo would use his abilities and kill Polnareff once and for all and take the arrow. And we see to it that Giorno, Mista, and Trish realizes that the boss is nearby because Trish could sense him. And they end up finding Bruno Bucciarati, but unfortunately for them, Bruno's on the floor and he's in total critical condition, knowing Giorno himself actually knows why. Before Diavolo might make his move with the arrow or do something worse, he ends up seeing some kind of ghostly figure that has an arrow-shaped tip mark on his neck or something. He goes like, "Who the hell are you?" And the episode ends off there. Next episode involves some kind of part 1 to a certain series, but that might be the final couple episodes of part 5. Anyways, Doppio takes advantage of Bruno Bucciarati leading him to the Colosseum and finding Polnareff, and Diavolo, which is the boss's true identity and the two-time personality with Doppio, shows up, kills Polnareff, takes the arrow, but ends up looking at some kind of ghostly figure that shocks the living hell out of him. So, don't know what's bound to happen next for for our characters, but it's not going to be very pretty, that's for sure. So until then, I will see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-oo!